Arby's is giving people herpes. Not really. Let me explain because I'm not gonna lie to you. There was a woman this week that went to Arby's and got food for her and some of her in-laws, and after eating it, she actually did end up contracting herpes. Now, this wasn't because of Arby's itself, right? Like, the food from Arby's is awful. It's never been good, and if you eat Arby's, you're kind of a weird person. But that's not what this was, okay? The manager that was running the Arby's at the time was spitting in people's food. Not just this one woman, but like the whole night.
Now to a story we all wish would be just a gross urban legend. But in McCurtain County, a former Arby's manager is charged with felony poisoning, accused of spitting in a woman's food and giving her herpes as a result.
After a long night bartending, Jenica Church stopped at Arbys in Broken Bow.
It was taking a little bit of time. Thought they were probably mad at me because it was right about to close.
Jenica said she had some history with Amanda Hendricks, the manager, but nothing major. She went home, ate, and shared sandwiches with her father-in-law and grandmother-in-law.
And while this is a very uncommon thing to contract herpes from food that somebody had spit in, honestly, I didn't even know that it was possible. I've always heard that, like, you can get it from sharing drinks, but it's not very common and all of that stuff. Apparently, if somebody spits on your burger, you gonna get herpes. At least there's a chance, right? Now, the chances of you contracting herpes, I went and looked it up. It is essentially zero from getting herpes from somebody spitting in your food or drink. But it's not zero. It is essentially zero, but it is not. So either this woman is the most unlucky person on the face of the planet, or the manager had like the most crazy herpes outbreak known to man, right? And it's really diabolical because, like, everybody has the fear, right? You go and you piss somebody off at a drive-thru and they spit in your food, and you're not gonna know. And truthfully, I'm always like, well, that's gonna be disgusting if that happens. I'm never thinking that I'm gonna get herpes from it. You know what I'm saying? And like, now I have another thing to check onto the box of things that I'm scared of, and that's getting herpes from a fast food worker. Or not just a fast food worker, but any restaurant worker at this point. But it is confirmed. This woman started having an outbreak. She went to the doctor and they confirmed that she does have herpes, dude.
Or had before. The doctor diagnosed her with herpes.
Several times a week, I get a flare up. It goes all the way up to the top of my eye twitches. I mean, it's very painful.
Now, like I said, if you're choosing to eat at Arby's, you're kind of a weird person in my opinion anyways. Arby's is like really not good. There are so many better options, especially if you're going for shitty junk food. Arby's is definitely not the move, dude. It definitely is not the move. Stay away from Arby's. Unless you just really like it for whatever reason. But now, you're going to have to worry about getting herpes. Okay? And Arby's, please don't sue me because I will say, Arby's food by itself does not give you herpes. Just their shitty managers do, apparently. But this woman is pressing charges against the manager, and apparently, this isn't just like, I went to a random Arby's, this random manager. No. This is a small town. And apparently, the customer and the manager already had some beef going on, right?
Broken Bow is a small town. Jenica says Amanda Hendricks was bragging about spitting in her sandwiches that night. And Jenica's daughter heard the story.
According to the affidavit, Broken Bow police say they pulled cameras and saw Amanda spitting in the food.
Which formulates some speculations of whether or not this is actually what happened, or if the woman already had herpes and she found out that the woman was spitting in her food, because it did kind of become public, right? She was bragging about it for some reason. Like she had won the scoring goal in the World Cup for some reason. She was like, oh yeah, guys, hey, that was me. I was the one spitting in the food, dog. Yeah, hold the applause. Hold the applause. But she was, for some reason, bragging about it. So it got out, right? Like that night, it got out. And so I'm almost curious as to think if the woman that had already had beef with her, if she was like, yo, this is a good way to pin something on her. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, I don't know. It seems like there's a pretty cut and dry way of figuring this whole thing out. If the Arby's manager has herpes, then it's probably, right, like Bob's your uncle. It's probably something to do with that. If she doesn't have herpes, you can go ahead and throw that in the shit pile because it wouldn't make any sense. But nevertheless, the manager was on camera spitting in multiple people's foods. Either way, that is a serious crime, and it's just flat out disgusting, dude. You should never be able to work in food ever again. Like never. Don't touch anybody else's food. I wouldn't even touch your own food because God only knows you might spit in that too.
She's charged with felony poisoning with intent to injure. A warrant has been issued for her arrest. Jenica and her family filed a lawsuit against Amanda, Arbys, and affiliated restaurant groups, claiming extreme anxiety, emotional distress, and fear of infection. Jenica fears it'll impact her service industry work.
And now the customer is like obviously very concerned, right? She files these lawsuits against her as she should, because if you contracted a virus like herpes only because you went to go get dinner, right? You should have a lawsuit filed against you. If you're the one to blame, allegedly, if you are the one to blame, you deserve to have a lawsuit put against you. But now she's concerned that like she's not going to be able to work in customer service anymore. It's going to affect her reputation, which is all like it's honestly fair. It's that's a very fair thing to think in my opinion. And I don't know. I just hate it for the woman. It's not fair to her, especially if this really did happen, if especially like if she really did contract herpes because this manager was in there spitting in people's foods. Not only is it not fair to her, but I'm curious to see if there was anybody else in the town that this happened to, because she was on a rampage, dude. She was on a rampage bragging about this on video, doing it to multiple people. Like, this wasn't just a one-off incident. This wasn't just because she didn't like the woman, right? So she is also being charged with a felony because of this. A felony for poisoning, which you may think sounds radical a little bit, but it really doesn't. Like, you shouldn't be spitting in people's food, especially if you have a contagious disease like herpes. Nevertheless, the woman does need to be fired. She should not be able to work in food ever again. Like I said, she probably shouldn't even cook her own food. She might just, get a wild hair and spit in her own food, give herself double herpes or something. But she shouldn't be cooking for nobody, right? I think we can all agree on that. But I am curious to see how this all plays out because it sounds like if you did a herpes test on the manager and she comes back with herpes, I mean, Bob's your uncle. Like, bingo, you got it. That's the answer right there, right? And then you can follow through with the lawsuits and pressing charges. But if she doesn't have herpes, there's gonna be some explaining to do here. Maybe that woman's getting a little freaky with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. Allegedly. I don't know. Who am I, right? But yeah, I just I saw the news article for this and I thought it was kind of interesting, so I just wanted to run you guys through it. Just a friendly reminder: don't eat at Arby's, okay? And be nice to your servers. Be nice to your servers, and maybe you won't contract herpes or swallow somebody else's spit. As nasty as that sounds, just food for thought. Food, get it? Like food. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. And again, I wanted to add, if you guys want to support the channel in any way, go and get yourself some dubs, bro. It's gamer supplements, energy drink, basically. You can use my code, the Tan Bear, for 10% off, and it supports me, and it gives back to the channel, and it just, it fuels us. Like, literally, it fuels us. It's really good, too. The flavors are immaculate, so I appreciate you guys.